What's poppin'? It's the Bay's Party Station, Wild 94.1, wild941.com with Joey Franchize, Poppy Shampoo, here with one of Tampa's best kept secrets. But he ain't really a secret now, I mean, because the dude's all over these Rolling Loud stages lately. I mean, we got Gats in the building. What's poppin', G?
What's up? It's the most handsome Gats. JT $, don't forget the $, please.
I love it, man. Confidence is high. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it, man.
Got to be, man.
Yo, and it's crazy because you just dropped a new project, To Live and to Rob.
Yep.
You got 4 tracks on there, just a little, teaser of what to expect, obviously, for the next project. What was it like putting this project together, man? It's like you've been super consistent. I feel like you've dropped project after project, year by year,
yeah,
2, maybe even 3 a year. Like, bro, it's just nonstop for you.
Yeah, nonstop. That's kind of how I am. It's a little bit crazy because, last year I had a long hiatus, and I really didn't do much. I did drop a small project last year, but it was more of a B-side, just things that were just kind of here, there, everywhere, or whatever. Nothing that I actually put time and effort into. So, this year I came back and I dropped 2 EPs. I did Rob one that came out in October, and then we dropped To Live and to Rob this month with Jordan Patrick. And it was cool, man. We did that project in about like 2 sessions.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, man. We spent maybe tops 5 hours making that project.
That's awesome.
Nelly, we wrote that in like 10 minutes.
It's one of my favorite records on the project, actually. It's infectious. I know you didn't mean for it to be that way, but it definitely was.
Man, I literally was looking at Nelly Furtado's album cover, and I was just like, oh, you know what? I have really been, riding this Nelly thing a little heavy. Let me make a song about this.
And it's crazy because, you kind of, like, I think Nelly's not forgotten, but it's like kind of like a afterthought in the music game.
Afterthought is like a really good word. I think what happens is, like, we have these situations where there's a lot of things going on at one time. A lot of different people are in these conversations for like greatest of all time, or this is the hottest MC out right now. And then what happens is the times change, and the styles change, and certain people adapt and certain people not so much, and then we only remember certain people. So like, you look back at that era of like who was really, killing stuff, and you had your J and you had your M, but you had DMX,
right?
And you had Nelly,
right?
And, and it's crazy because like we don't talk about DMX like that anymore. We don't. I know,
it sucks, man. And DMX is one of my favorites, legit, top 5.
Word, yeah.
Mine personally.
I mean, out of Rough Riders, I was more of a Styles P guy, but teachers
respect.
I respect DMX for what he was, or like like Beans, like
yeah.
Beanie Siegel never got washed on a song with Jay-Z.
Legit, ever.
But he's never in the conversation. So, like, I think about these people, or, your Ludacris's, and, like, like...
A lot of these guys just don't get they never got the credit. Like,
they didn't get the flowers, bro.
They got their notoriety, but they never really got the... Like, I don't feel like Ludacris ever got that, one of the best lyricists of that era. Because his metaphor is, like... And punchlines were just always on point.
Yeah,
like, I go back to like the freestyles he would do midway through his albums.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, did we forget like how fire Luda was? I mean, was it because it was from the A and the A wasn't supposed to sound like that?
Maybe. And like the style too. Who sounds like Ludacris? Nobody. In a time where like everybody sounds like everybody, like we should be able to respect or go back and look at Ludacris and be like, yo, he was a trendsetter for real. He was his own. He was his one of one. Like, he didn't sound like anybody else.
Right.
So, Nelly, for what it is, like, didn't sound like anybody else.
And he was a trendsetter. He had the Band-Aid thing going on. Backwards jerseys.
Air Force
He started
Ones.
apple bottom jeans for chicks.
Yeah, bro. And, I mean, he had banger after banger after banger.
Right.
He ain't missed.
Tip drill video. Still top 5 videos ever made.
Yeah.
No cap. Now I'm assuming all these guys were like, they kind of had an influence on you growing up. And in music. And you're not originally from Tampa.
No.
Please tell this story. This is amazing. We're talking about this off the air.
I'm from Hawaii. Yeah.
Hawaii. I've never met anybody from Hawaii.
Yeah, I hear that all the time, and people like, and most people don't really figure out until like, they see me and like I have like a tattoo of Hawaii on my arm or whatever, and they're like, oh,
legit?
Yeah, and they're like, oh, what's that? You just got like some scribbles? And I was like, no, it's Hawaii. And they're like, the islands? And I was like, yeah, it's like the state of Hawaii. And it was like, why would you have that? It's like, because I'm from there. They're like, no, and I'm like, yeah. Nah, man, I'm a military brat, so you know, parents had me over there, and then we moved to Tampa when I was like 4 or 5.
Okay.
And I've been like,
Oh yeah, so you're already acclimated.
yeah, I've been acclimated. Yeah, I've been bouncing around.
You're a
the city.
Tampanian. How do you call it?
Tampanian.
Is it Tampanian?
Tampanian, yeah.
Okay.
Tampanian. I would like to say that, yeah.
No doubt. And when did you actually start getting into music and you thought this was like gonna be my thing?
Man, see, that's like a checkered question because like I've been in music. I've been involved in music in some way, shape, or form since I was a jit. I grew up playing violin. I liked instruments, and you know, like it was crazy because my like dad used to play like soul records, and you know, Curtis Mayfield, Barry White, Isaac Hayes, Marvin Gaye, Temptations, Dramatics, Stylistics.
Legends.
All that was played in the house all the time. So I just really got attracted to that sound. I just loved hearing that. So as soon as I had a chance to play an instrument, I was like, yo, I want to play violin because I want to emulate these things that I hear all the time. And, you know, I was always a fan of hip hop. I had an older cousin who played hip hop. And eventually, you know, I was in a band and that crapped out. And one of my homies was like, yo, you should like try to produce because like you play instruments and you love hip hop, like do some production stuff. And I got into that when I was like 22. It was just like a hobby, just whatever.
No.
Cool. And then next thing you know, I mean, I think everybody rapped when I was in high school, and I was one of the people that liked rapping, but it got to the point where I was like, all right, well, I'm making these beats and no one's going to rap on them. I'm gonna rap on them.
Facts. That's exactly what like Smoke Perp did. That was like his story too. That's crazy.
It's like whatever. I'm just gonna rap on them. I put them out, and you know, eventually like enough people started thinking that it was dope, and then I was like, all right, bet. Let me do this for real. So we're here now.
There you go. And look where it's gotten you, man. I mean, now you're touching these Rolling Loud stages. We're going to get to that in just a second. We're with Gats. It's Wild 94.1 with Joey Franchize. Then do you think it's important? Because now we live in the age where a lot of artists are super hands-on. Like, you look at guys like J. Cole, who produces and writes his own music and basically does it all just himself with the help of, like, engineers and stuff. But Russ also, who's very hands-on, who literally does everything. You know, to give you his best work. I mean, is that the most, like, is that really the day and age we are in right now in music?
I think it's going to get to that point. You know, if you don't put your 10,000 hours in, if you're not a perfectionist, if you're not somebody who's going to be rapping at the caliber of a Kendrick or a JID or whatever, or whoever is out here who's just a master of the craft, being able to know a little bit of everything at the end of the day is going to help you out. You know, you look at somebody like Tyler, who, you know, he came up rapping, producing, he was shooting the videos, and he was doing designs for all the covers for everything. They really were able to maximize their effort as a team, because now you got all these people pushing, and everybody's capable of doing something. When you're multitasking, I think that makes you more of a viable threat, and people seek value in you if you know everything or know a little bit of everything. So for me, it helps, you know, even when I'm rapping over something that somebody else is producing, I already know what I'm looking for, and I know things that can help. I know how I can inflect my voice. I know how I should, you know, harmonize over something because I know how to play piano. So I already know that, you know, music theory, and it helps me. So I think for anybody who's aspiring to get into music, pick up as many trades as possible, whether it's on the music side or even on the, you know, outside bubble. So like directing your own music videos or doing your own cover art. You got to pick up something else.
All over it. And I love the cover art on the new project on the EP. You actually, it's money. It's a dollar. It's a dollar with the Black Panther on the. On the thing, are you a big Black Panther Marvel guy?
I mean, yeah. But you know, I thought it was just like, you know, like a little flip of, you know, the song that we did. Shout out to Miggs who did the cover art. But you know, I had a song on there called Immigrant Bread. So like, I was like, you know, who's the richest immigrant I could think of? And I was like, T'Challa. Wakanda. So you know, just did a little, you know, homage there, and yeah, the cover came out real dope. It was inspired by Kangi out in Miami. So, you know, with the twos and everything
Right.
like that. So, you know, we pay a little homage to her as well. And yeah, man, it's out now. So please go
On
listen
all
to that.
platforms.
All platforms: Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud, Tidal.
And definitely hit him up. Let him know what the record he should, you know, definitely go with as far as pushing forward with the single.
Oh yeah,
'Cause
man.
I'm sticking by Nelly.
I mean, Nelly's out there. We pushing that right now. We got the video out now, shot by Roberto Rivera. We're just trying to figure out what we're gonna do next. I've been, you know, trying to field questions from everybody and see what people are rocking with, and we still don't have a clear answer, man. We still don't have a clear answer. Like, I did a few shows these last few weeks, you know, gearing up for Rolling Loud, and the crowd seems kind of split between Immigrant Bread and Posse.
Right.
But like, we got like a lot of replay value on 2K Express too, and I'm just
I
like,
saw that,
yeah,
First track on there.
Yeah, it's the first track on there, so it's to be expected. But like, the analytics for it is so crazy because like, I can see like people are repeating it. So I'm like, all right, bet. So,
And that's another thing. Like, and it's super important in this day and age also to know streaming and understand that stuff. Are you like, have you done a lot of research on a lot of that stuff when, you know, the Spotify's and the Apple Musics of the world started becoming the big deal in the industry?
Yeah, man. I think last year was important for me because, you know, I was coming up in a time where the streaming game, like, you know, I've dropped a project when streaming didn't really exist, when Spotify was like on baby legs. So, you know, I was putting out music when, you know, ASAP Rocky and Space Ghost Perp were still like
Cool,
you know, like, so that whole entire time it was, you know, trying to maximize on like downloads and trying to get people to your project the quickest, most efficient way possible, and blah, you know, like, I remember when I put out Starships Jericho in 2014,
Right.
you know, all I did was I set up a website and I was like, yo, you click this link here and you'll download the project, and that was it. And that was cool at the time, you know, and we had thousands and thousands of downloads. So who knows how many plays that thing has accumulated over the years, but Apple Music wasn't out then. So couldn't really, you know, maximize on that. So it was a little frustrating for me when I dropped my last two projects and I was trying to get into like, I was putting everything out, you know, the proper way on the Apple Musics and all that, and it really wasn't hitting the way that I thought it should be, and I got real frustrated. So taking this last year off for health, but also just doing research and trying to figure out, okay, so how is everybody else winning, and how can I win, knowing that I'm gonna have to get back into the market share and rebrand myself and reevaluate everything that I'm doing. So it's working out for me right now, and you know, I'm appreciative of that.
That's cool. And now I noticed that you used to tag Rob with 2 B's. What's the, you know, is there a message behind it?
Nah,
Just
I mean, my name is Robert.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. You
all right,
know?
cool. There we go. That's
and
the
I was just
story.
like, yeah, that's it. You know, my parents call me Robbie, and you know, I just cool. Like, I spell it with 2 B's, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna come out with that. Like, that's gonna be like the next time I put out music, like, I'm gonna push this Rob the World agenda because that's what I'm coming to do. And
I dig that.
that's just how it worked out. And I didn't want to do Rob the World with 1 B. I thought that was just lame.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I looked at my actual name, how I spell it, and I was like, all right, bet. So
That's what's up.
yeah, man, we here now.
It's Gats, Wild 94.1, and also, you know, being in Tampa and understanding that, you know, the South just has its own sound, and you managing to make major noise, you know, with your sound and doing it, you know, from the underground level, but, you know, now it's obviously getting the attention of the Rolling Louds of the world.
Yeah.
Like, how was it? Was it difficult at all?
Oh,
like,
it's difficult as hell. It's difficult as hell. I don't make music like everyone else in Florida does, and I'm self-aware of that. And there's a lot of challenges that come with that. You know, I could easily just get on some trap beat and mumble and do what everybody else is doing and do it at a high efficiency and put out a whole bunch of things, but that's not me, and I wouldn't be being true to myself doing that. And I don't have any issues with people who do that. Like, if that's your lane and that's the type of music that you enjoy making, then that's cool. And you know, a lot of times I listen to that stuff too and be like, all right, this is what's up. Like, I can get jiggy with this. But like, for me, it wouldn't be what is true to me, and I would burn myself out and I wouldn't get anywhere doing that. So I just can't. It's been difficult. I've had like a long road because I've been at this for a bit, and it's a little wild that I've somehow sustained throughout all this time.
Right.
To be honest, I thought that, you know, my ship would have sailed a long time ago, but you know, a lot of people believe in me, and I just keep plugging away at it. And now a lot of the things that I put time and effort into are paying me back. So
Right.
I'm Gucci with it.
That's cool, and I'm happy to see like people who can, you know, people out of Florida. I like I like variety.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
XXXTentacion would give me a good variety. Like, it was the ragey stuff. Then he was like, oh, he can rap. Like, he's with Joey Badass on a record. Which is cool. And you know, and I feel like the people that in Florida that I've come across that can actually rap with, you know, the boom bap stuff.
Yeah.
It's like between like you and Denzel Curry.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, to say the, you know.
Because I can get on something boom bap, but then like, you know, I can get on hype with the best with them, you know.
Right.
So like, it just really depends on, you know, the mood and all that. I like to say that I'm versatile, but at the same time, I'm not trying to sell out and, you know, adapt to somebody else's script. I can only go by mine.
Right.
You know.
And now, speaking of something versatile, it's Rolling Loud. I mean, you were on the Miami stage, and that was a last minute phone call.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
how'd that work? How'd that come about?
Man, it was wild, bro. You know, like, I got billed for the very, very, very first Rolling Loud ever, a few years back. And because at the time, like, I was on a hot streak, and I remember performing, and it was mostly on me. And I remember I just performed in front of like 8 people. It was crazy. Now, mind you, it was like an 8,000 person event at the time. So it was a little heartbreaking, a lot of bit humbling. You know, I came in there, I think, with a bigger ego than I should have had. And looking back, I'm really thankful for that experience, just because I went about it incredibly wrong. Not that I would have known better, but I needed that learning lesson. And then like Rolling Loud 2 comes, I get billed again. I'm like, all right, bet. I had just dropped Dope, so like I was riding a high on that, and the stage that I was going to perform at ended up getting shut down early.
Wow.
And I was like, damn, all right. You know what? Maybe this wasn't my time. This happened for a reason, you know? And looking back on that, I'm just like, I think that if I would have performed that night, it wouldn't have been my time. It just wouldn't have been my time. It wouldn't have gone the way that I wanted it to go. Year 3, I didn't get booked. I was on chemo. Is what it is. So year 4, I was planning on going and everything like that. And I was at WrestleMania weekend. I was in New Orleans.
I feel you.
Yeah, I get a phone call, and they're like, yo, here, your email in a little bit. Sign it, send it back. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you're just going to get an email in a little bit, whatever. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I go back to watching wrestling, cool. I get email, and it's like, yeah, thank you for, you know, being considered Rolling Loud, blah, 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 blah. This is your advance letter, this, that, and the other. And I was like, yo, all right, we in there. So it was crazy. It was a great opportunity. And, you know, I'd spoken about doing it a whole bunch. People were hitting me up before Rolling Loud was happening. Like when they dropped the first flyer, I was like, yo, why are you not on this? Yo, you got to get booked, blah, 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 blah. And that made me feel like, all right, you know what, maybe this is going to be my time. This is the right time. And went ahead, did the set. Set went flawless. We had a great time. You know, people reacted well. We got fans. We got, you know, buzz. And then Diddy watched the performance.
That's
and
awesome.
It was like, there's a lot of craziness, you know, around it. So I was like, all right, bet. Eyes are on me. It's time to get to work. and we've been working all year. So, you know, this is Rolling Loud 2 for the year. And I'm excited, man.
Yeah, I'm excited for you, man. And, you know, you're going to be touching that L.A. stage in a couple weeks.
Yeah, first time in L.A.
Is your first time in L.A.?
First time in L.A. proper, man.
Trust me, if I go out there, if I step out there with you, trust me, we gonna see L.A.
Yeah, yeah.
For sure.
I've heard great things about L.A., so I can't wait. And, you know, I got a little fan base out there, too.
Fire.
According to the analytics, so I'm excited.
Gotta love the analytics.
Gotta love the analytics, but you know, at the same time, you know, Nelly's been doing well, Project's been doing well. I think it'll be received well out there as well, and we're just gonna keep going up for 2019.
Dog, to the top. That's where it's at. To Live and to Rob is out right now.
And
of course, let everybody know where you can follow you.
Yeah, man. You can hit me on my website, gats813.com, and then on all socials, it's GATS. Well, it's GAT$. Don't forget the $sign. If you're looking for me on, you know, Apple Music and Spotify and all that, and then all the socials, GATS813.
No doubt. Keep holding down the city, player.
Yeah.
It's wild.